everybody, it's Sheridan. You met me here as an author, but outside of that, I'm also a health coach. I work with Weight Watchers, and I'm a mom navigating all the beautiful chaos that comes with life. I'm so thankful to have the opportunity today to do a little Uno Reverse episode of Pressing Matters, where I get to interview Alyssa about her book and who she is as an author.
Hey Sheridan, thank you so much. I know this is kind of unusual, me being the one answering the questions and you coming up with the questions to ask me. But I really appreciate you being flexible, trying something new, and I'm really excited to be on this side of the table. Today is our first Tuesday mini-sode, so you're going to get a taste of what these look like. Typically on Fridays, we have a guest, but this Friday is going to look a little bit different. We're going to have a longer episode with me, answering questions that all of you have brought to my Instagram and my DMs, and your burning questions that you want to hear about. You'll also notice on our Tuesday episodes, you don't visually see me, but you'll always see graphics and things to really keep your attention. If you're deciding whether to be an audio or a visual watcher, I highly recommend tuning in and watching on YouTube on Fridays. But on Tuesday, we're not going to have too many graphics on screen for you to check out to supplement the learning. So it's totally up to you whether Tuesdays you want to do audio or visual. Tuesday episodes are typically pretty quick, but the reason why is because they're usually a setup for the Friday episodes. So if you're listening in and you like the topic, you'll get a head start on what Friday is going to look like. Let's go ahead and dive right into the first question. What do you have for me, Sheridan?
What drew you to dark psychological thrillers specifically?
I get asked this question a lot about why I chose to write a thriller, and the answer is it just kind of happened. I honestly didn't even plan to write a book. I didn't know what I planned on doing. I was just kind of writing on my laptop. But eventually I started writing about characters, and I love shows like Ozark, You, and Breaking Bad. So those themes of greed and obsession and darkness, they kind of come easily to my mind. I do watch all different types of shows, I read all different types of books. But something about writing rooted in silence, the thriller just kind of came alive in itself. I think a lot of people think that your writing style is reflective of your personality. Maybe that's the case for some people. It's definitely not the case for me. I'm pretty upbeat, happy. I like to laugh. I try really hard not to take life too seriously. But my writing is pretty dark, reflective. Honestly, it puts you in a pretty pensive place. That's because I started writing as an outlet. When I was going through a pretty stressful time in my life, I sat down to write, honestly, just to get some ideas out of my head and put some words onto the paper. But eventually, I fell in love with the process. I don't really write love stories or stories with happy endings. My stories are going to leave you kind of confused, maybe a little bit hungry for answers, but honestly, that's the goal. I know that everybody has different types of authors on their shelf. I'm the type of author that's going to leave you pacing your kitchen, wondering what just happened. I love that question. What else do you have for me?
How does your personality outside of writing compare to the stories that you create?
I answered this a little bit, but I'm pretty high energy. I like to do a lot of things. I have four pets. I'm married. I live in a place where I have access to outdoor nature and things to do. And honestly, I really like to keep myself busy. I love hobbies. And really, if you came to my house, I think you would be surprised that I wrote a thriller. And even if you spent a little bit of time with me, I'm a huge comedy lover. Almost all things that I watch are comedy outside of the shows that I mentioned before. And I like to go to comedy shows and really just take things light. So it's so interesting how my writing is so different. But again, I think it's honestly just part of my brain processing things that I don't really tackle in my everyday life. It's not that I don't have layers or I don't like getting deep. I'm just the type of person that likes to see things on the bright side. But sometimes when I'm sitting down and writing, it really lets me dive into those deeper thoughts that I think we all really need to dive into sometimes.
Thank you so much for tuning into this special Una Reverse episode of Pressing Matters. Alyssa, it was so great chatting with you today and getting a glimpse into your world as an author. Make sure to tune in Friday for a deeper dive into Alyssa's journey.